Hey YouTube, it's your girl Chic, and tonight we're going to get into some things. But before we get started, if you could subscribe, hit the notification bell, and if you have comments, please place a comment down below because I'd love to hear your thoughts on tonight's topic. So, I'm here. I provide life advice, and tonight's topic, I'm calling it "You Are My Man, Not My Roommate." So basically, this topic, I want to just explore the roles or the position of a man in a relationship when it comes to holding down the household. So today, in these times, a lot of people live together and they're not married, so many believe that financially it's just better for everyone to live together versus live separately, everyone paying their own bills, even though you may be spending time at one another's home. It just makes more sense economically to come together underneath one roof. So with that being said, when that happens, what's the expectation? Is the expectation to split the bills down the middle, live like a roommate? Is the expectation, okay, well, since he moving in, I feel like he need to take care of these bills because, he's now wanting to be the man in the house. So, okay, if you the man, you going to have the title, the bills, and all the responsibilities that come with manhood. Or do some of you believe that whoever makes the most money should take care of the household bills, or at least the majority of the bills? We got a lot of women today who do make more money than their men. When you look at the numbers, you're going to find more women who have, the higher education. So it's not out of the ordinary that you'll have a woman, today in a relationship with a man who she makes more money than. It's just kind of the way it is. So with that being said, does that make a difference? Do you women who make more than your man, do you still expect for your man to pull majority of the weight when it comes to the financial responsibilities in the household? Or do you feel like, okay, well, since I'm bringing in the money, I'm going to pay these bills, but at the same time, I'm going to run the show? So that's where kind of, the challenge comes in there at. Does the person who carry the most weight financially, do they have the most say in the house? Do they have the most pull because, they're putting the food on the table? Or do we have some women out there who believe in more of a traditional setting to where let's just say they do make more money. However, they believe that, their man should be the head of the household in every way, which also includes him making the decisions as it pertains to, the finances and the direction that, we go together as a unit. So I've talked to some people, and one person I spoke to in particular, she's a divorcee and she strongly feels that, okay, the man should, take care of all the responsibilities. When she was married, her husband did make the bulk of, the larger salary. So he financially did hold down the household. Today she's a single parent. However, she does date, and even with her dating, the guy she's, in a relationship with long distance, he still does hold down her household. They do have a child together, but, they have a long distance relationship, but he holds down the household. So she wholeheartedly feels like, okay, that's his responsibility. He needs to hold down the household regardless of what my income is. Also, another thing I want to bring up is bonuses. Do you feel that if an employer gives you a bonus that you earn, do you feel like that's included in the normal household finances? Basically, do you feel like that should be disclosed to your partner? So I want to know if you were to get a bonus from your employer and it's just extra money, it's not a part of your normal, income that you bring in regularly, would you share that with your partner? Do you feel like that information warrants to be disclosed? Do you feel like, okay, well, yeah, that's income, so of course everything that I bring home, everything he brings home, we need to discuss it, that goes into one pot? Or do you feel like, that's extra, so what he don't know won't hurt? So at what point is it considered our money? Is it only when it comes to the regular base salary? Does extra get included in that? I guess it's probably no different if you want to scratch off and you want $500. Do you go home and share it with your man? Yeah, I want $500 when I ran out to lunch right after I left Taco Bell. Or do you keep that to yourself because, hey, that's extra money, so, what he don't know won't hurt. So those are some things that I'm wanting to know. Me as someone who's married, I've been married for a long time, and I operate off of a concept of, what's mine is yours, what's yours is mine. So I have worked for companies where I have gotten extra money, bonuses, things of that nature, and I have disclosed that information because, again, I feel like when you're married, whatever money or income that you earn, whether it's something on your primary job or even on a side job, I feel like that's information that should be shared with your partner. I feel like that's money that should be able to be contributed to the house. So even if, say, you do say, okay, hey, honey, I have $500 extra that I won this, I earned this. My husband or whoever may very well say, oh, okay, well that's nice. Go ahead and do something nice for yourself. But to keep that information to yourself, meanwhile, let's just say your partner expressed it. There's a bill that have come up, or there's some type of financial situation that has come up unexpectedly, and that you have the extra income, or the extra money on the side to help out with that situation. Do you do it? Do you think, I wonder, would he do it for me? Or do you feel like, okay, well, he doesn't know this, exists, so I'm not going to even bring that up. I'll just let him try to figure out what he gonna do, because really what he don't know won't hurt. So if he didn't know this money was over here, then hell, he's still in the same situation of not knowing where the hell it's gonna come from. So what are your thoughts? Do you feel like, okay, when you come into money, it warrants to be disclosed, to your partner? Do you feel like, when you live together, you should split everything down the middle? Or do you feel like, okay, well, the man who's the head of the household, he should pay all the bills? But the one thing I'd like to bring up, and when I hear people talk about, what their understanding or their belief of a role of a man as it pertains to the financial situation, I feel like we can't ignore that Black men typically, more often than not, is not going to make as much or even more or as much as the man of another ethnic group. So with that being said, Brad may be able to hold down his household and take care of all the bills while Amy works and keeps her check or not work at all. However, Keith over here doesn't make as much money, and his money isn't long enough to be able to hold down all of the household bills. So if you relied on Keith's check, it may impact the overall quality of lifestyle. As they say, two incomes are better than one. So say if you relied on Keith's check, your quality of lifestyle may kind of be lower versus if you relied on like both of your checks combined. And I definitely operate off of a mentality of two checks is better than one. My situation, I understand that, okay, if we made the decision for me to stay home and not work, it would impact the quality of our life, because of course two is better than one. So with my income not being put into the pot, just naturally it's going to impact everything. We may be able to still, pay all the bills, but as far as the extras that we're used to having, the trips, buying the purses, getting your hair, nails done, those things may need to scale back. So it comes down to, would I rather stay home and allow my man to hold down the fort and not have those extras, or would I rather go to work so therefore I can have those extras? It's a choice, because I feel like, okay, if I'm going to stay at home, I have to accept the fact that it's going to impact the overall quality of my life based off of what our financial situation is. And as I said, there are some who, whereas the man can hold down the fort and you won't miss a beat and it won't impact your home life, the situation with the kids, participating with activities, you getting the extras done, your trips, the nails, the hair. But in reality, Antoine probably is not going to be as likely to be able to hold down the fort as Michael can, because of his financial situation. And Antoine may very well want to hold down the situation and would love to be able to say he financially provides for his family, without the wife having to work and, the kids being able to go to private school. But that's just not his situation. So is it fair to put that pressure on Antoine that, okay, well, Mary Beth next door husband is holding down the fort and he's doing this and he's doing that while she's sitting at home or able to keep all of her check, in her purse. However, Mary Beth's husband owns his own business, is a vice president of a company. He has that income coming in that allows for his wife to be able to have the lifestyle that she has. So those are the things I believe that we have to be honest with ourselves. And even when we do choose a helpmate, we have to think about, okay, well, what kind of lifestyle do I want? Do I want a lifestyle to where, okay, I can sit at home, I can have this, I can have that, and I don't have to go to work? Or I can make my money and I can keep it in my pocket? You have to think about that up front. And then when you are thinking about that, that's when that thought process plays a part in who you choose to date. Because it wouldn't be realistic for you to choose to date someone who you know very well does not have that income earning potential. Like it wouldn't make sense for you to even try to put that on him to say, look, I want you to hold down all, take care of all the bills in our home and to provide for everything, but he has a $30,000 job, but you live in a $300,000 house. Like, where is this money coming from? Okay, in order for you to have gotten that house, it took 2 of your incomes to get to that house. So is it really realistic to suddenly overnight, let's just say, okay, well, now I want you to pay for everything? So food for thought. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say on this topic, but it's something that I've heard come up a few times as far as when it comes to the role of a man. It's funny, I was riding in the car one day, and it was a gentleman on the radio, and he said he learned about his wife receiving a bonus from her employer over through the media. He didn't know that she received bonuses. So basically she was getting this money and just, I don't know what she was doing with it. I don't know if she was shopping with it, putting it in her bank account, but he had absolutely no clue that there was this extra money coming into household. Meanwhile, from his perspective, he's, feel like, okay, there was a financial strain going on in the family to where, say, if he had been aware of that extra money, it really could have helped. So he felt a certain type of way with not knowing that information. So I'm sure that helped for an interesting, conversation when he did talk to her. But, those are the things that you run risk of when your partner do learn that you've been keeping a secret, that impacts the financial situation of the household or the family. So, it's a lot that goes on to when you choose the person who you want to be with, or even if you choose to want to move in with the person who you're dating, you have to, before they move in, get an understanding of, okay, just, when you move in, what this situation is going to look like. You can't assume. You have to ask, okay, well, when you move in, do you plan on, paying half? Do you plan on picking up the entire mortgage bill? Do you plan on picking up the car notes? Do you plan on just paying for whatever you got going on and I pay for whatever I got going on? Like, these are conversations that I feel like we should have, because there can be times where, okay, one person's mindset for moving in is, completely different than the other person's mindset, and that can cause for a problem. I did speak with someone, and that was a situation where, okay, he had plans on moving in, but it was solely for his own financial benefit. He wanted to move in just so therefore he could benefit from her. Basically, she was the homeowner, he wasn't, so he wanted to move in with her, so therefore he can save his money and do whatever he was going to do. He didn't have the mindset of, okay, well, I'm going to move in and I'm going to pick up the bulk of the bills. I don't even know if he even had the mindset to pick up half, but it was very apparent that him moving in was something that was going to be more of a benefit to him financially versus her. She was able to pay her bills, but she picked up that he had an ulterior motive. So with that being said, she decided to not allow for him to move in. And he told her, okay, well, if I don't move in with you, I'm just going to go to my mama's house. So there you go. He was going to treat her as though she was his mom, look for her to take care of him, because he made enough money to be able to live on his own. There was no reason for him to have to resort to going to his mother's house or even coming into her home and looking for her to help him in a way financially to where he could have definitely helped himself. So we got to look out for things like that, ladies, too, when we come across men who don't have the things that we do have. You have to look at it as, okay, well, is he motivated by what I have to try to get these things as well? Or is he one to just say, okay, well, she got it. She got her own home, her own car. She good. I'm just going to ride her coattail. I don't agree with that. I feel like, okay, when you do come together, you need to talk about how this financial situation is going to work. I personally do feel like, okay, a man's role is to handle the bulk of the financial responsibilities. Even say if he can't handle all of them, like I said, it goes back to the type of lifestyle that you want. He may very well be able to handle all of them, but you may not have the lifestyle that you have. You're not going to live in that big old house that you got. You might be over in an apartment or, renting a 2-bedroom. It can impact the quality of your life. So it comes down to what's most important. You saying, okay, my man holding everything down, or you saying, okay, together we worked hard and we got this. So those are some things you kind of got to ask yourself to see, what do you want? Because only you can answer that question. And based off of, that answer, you have to move in a way that's going to have you to work towards getting what it is that you want. Whether it's that man with the money, or if you want a man somebody who's just going to come along to just be able to just be a helpmate, somebody to love you, where you're not big on, the whole financial thing. Because some people are more, find the finances of greater importance than, the actual love part of relationships. Some people like, forget love. I don't care about love. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense, So I'm not here to judge anyone based off of how they view, their situation when it comes to finances. But I do say that you have to be real with yourself, and you have to take all of that into account when you do choose to date. Because if you do not deal with that up front on the front end, it's going to come back around, and basically it's just going to blow up, because it's going to be a situation of, okay, well, you didn't tell me that in the beginning, that was your expectation, or you knew what my situation was while you're tripping. So everybody has to be honest with each other, and the key is just communication. Regardless, communication. We can't have anything without communication. That's just life. So let me know what you think. Again, if you could, like, subscribe, share, comment, hit the notification bell. Just let me know what you think. Peace and love, everyone.